You struggle with anxiety. Hiding it is the worst thing you could do.
Yes.
It is not a disease. It is a coping mechanism that has spiraled out of control and become a default.
Okay, so two fabulous people, Jamie Kern-Lima and Mel Robbins, having a discussion about a topic I love to talk about, which is anxiety. So let's dive in. First of all, when Mel was talking about anxiety being a coping mechanism in this clip back there, I don't think she meant to say that, because anxiety is not a coping mechanism. A coping mechanism is what you use when you feel anxiety. Anxiety is just a natural human response to threat, whether it's a real threat or an imagined threat or something that feels threatening now because you have experienced something similar in your past. Which leads me to what I think is going on with Mel. And by the way, I would love to talk to you, Mel. If anybody knows how to get Mel in touch with me, I have so many questions. So anyways, Mel was talking about how she woke up every morning and she dissociated. This is a big deal, like a really big deal. When people dissociate, their body is at a high state of anxiety. So what that tells me is that I don't think that Mel being anxious about going to her college classes where she didn't feel prepared was actually the root of her anxiety. I think it has to do with something else that happened in her past where she was not prepared. And whether it was one moment or multiple moments, it was so big and it had such a negative impact on her that her nervous system was like, we never want to feel this way again. So the fact that she had to go into classes every day and it would feel similar to some other event in her past is why she was dissociating. Her body was like, that is a threat. It couldn't almost distinguish between the present and the past, which is what happens so often. Most people don't realize this, that current triggers are usually just your past invading your present. That something happened in the past that felt so awful and your body never wants to experience it again. So it's getting triggered in the present because it's remembering what happened before and it's getting you ready to deal with it. I think that if Mel had worked with someone back when she was in college and they had been able to help her process and integrate these memories of her earlier moments, her anxiety would have gone way down. You see, once we listen to the signal of the anxiety and we track back in our body what we're feeling to the moment earlier that matches it, we can process that memory and integrate it and put it back in our brain in a way that is just a normal memory and no longer has any charge. And then when there's no charge, there's no trigger. Then we can use our coping skills like breathing and grounding with real threats because we won't be triggered. So we won't need them for the thing that we thought was a threat that really isn't.